and now joined by the voice of the Mavericks, our great friend Chuck Cooperstein, with us on 365 Sports. We're at Radio Row in New Orleans, and Chuck joins us on the show. Chuck, I know it's been a wild 24, 48 hours. Where were you when you heard about Luka's trade?
I was in bed in my room talking to my wife. And all of a sudden, my phone started buzzing, and I tried to ignore it. And as she was talking, I put me on pause and took a look, and got a text, someone saying like, "What the hell?" And then right after that, the ESPN alert came, and there it was. And I told her, "Love you, hon. My phone's buzzing. Gotta go. I'll call you back."
So. Was there, I mean, his conditioning has been at the center of this. The return of the trade and all that. Was there tension inside the locker room with teammates or anything like that? I mean, most people are puzzled, Coop.
There was not. There was like, well, I mean, it's understandable. I mean, you never see a 25-year-old generational player be traded, and certainly not be traded if they were going to be traded. The trading team was going to get a motherlode in return. That didn't happen here. The general manager, Nico Harrison, had his reasons for that. And, obviously believing that Anthony Davis is worth a lot of those future first-round picks. And on we go. But, no, the players had there was no tension with him. Luka was loved by the players. Players loved him.
Yeah. I mean, and Coop, the reason I asked that question is just because sometimes you see like a player, like a big time player like Luka get traded, and then you find out that he's not been doing his share. He's become a diva in the locker room, and even the other NBA divas are tired of his diva behavior, and he goes. And you just clearly said that's not the case here.
No, that's not the case. I mean, Luka's fun. I mean, Luka tries to be one of the boys, I think, as much as one of the boys can. He loves the challenge of, the half-court shots after practice and taking everybody's money and talking trash and having a great time. I mean, he loves to play. He loves to compete. He loves to win. And I think he showed all of that in 6.5 years in Dallas. And it's going to be missed. And there's just no getting around that. And it's going to take a long time, a very long time. Even if the Mavericks do win, even if they somehow win a championship, people are not going to forget that Luka Doncic was not a part of that because they really wanted him to be a part of that.
Is there a trade in sports that you can compare this to?
No. I mean, in basketball, the trade that probably comes closest is when Kareem was traded from Milwaukee to the Lakers. But Kareem wanted to be traded. Kareem, wanted to get out of Milwaukee, wanted to go to L.A., and they got some nice pieces back. But certainly, from the Mavericks standpoint, I mean, Anthony Davis is a Hall of Famer. Okay, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, and he's had a great year, and he's been, at least until the last week, relatively healthy, and was healthy last year too. But I mean, I've never seen two players in their prime, Luka in the early stage of his prime, and Davis, probably toward the end, still a couple more years left in his prime. Never seen anything like that. I mean, I think back to baseball, and I think about that trade that was with the Padres and the Blue Jays, and Roberto Alomar and Fred Griffin and Joe Carter. Roberto Alomar is in the Hall of Fame, but those are four great players. But in baseball today, a great player gets traded, it's for prospects. In football, you never see star quarterbacks traded for each other. I mean, the last time that probably happened was Dan Pastorini for Ken Stabler in 1980 when the Raiders and Oilers made that trade. In hockey, sure, Gretzky was traded and Messier was traded, and there are some big names that have been traded through the years. But the return, again, is never a future Hall of Fame level player. And the fact, frankly, that it all happened as cloak and dagger as it happened makes it even more stunning and remarkable.
I'll give you one. Mookie Betts.
Well, but again, what did the Red Sox get back in return?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So, again, mean, the Mavericks did get something
Yeah.
back here.
Yeah.
They, the thing about the NBA that sets it apart is that you can look at, say, even the De'Aaron Fox trade last night with Sacramento. And Sacramento got they got Zach LaVine from Chicago. I mean, they got a legitimate NBA player. In baseball, there's never a legitimate 1-for-1 or 2-for-2 trade anymore. Basketball has it all the time. Mm-hmm. And given that one correct piece can really help your team rise, that makes it, I think, all the more fun.
Coop, how do they sell season tickets? They're going to be good. I mean, you meant Anthony Davis is really good statistically as a full team with what he does on offense and defense. Who knows? But this is a beloved player, a beloved player. How do you expect, what's it going to be like when they're home again?
Revive Superfood Smoothies. Peel, blend, and enjoy. Fast and easy, and I'm out the door.
Well, we're in Philadelphia right now. We're in Boston on Thursday, and we play the Rockets on Saturday afternoon. And I'm with you, David, because I don't know. I don't know what the reaction is going to be. I want to think that they will still root for the Laundry. I want to believe that. I think they're only mad at one. The fans are only mad at one person, and they're not going to see that one person. I mean, it's not like they're going to throw his face up on the jumbotron or anything like that. I don't think that. I don't know. I mean, I'm stumbling here, but I want to believe that they will still root for the players because there are players that they like. And Anthony Davis, I don't know if he's going to play Saturday or not, but he is caught in the unfortunate crossfire that exists here right now. And anything short, frankly, of 35-20 on a nightly basis, the fans will probably say, "I want Luka," and we want to win with Luka. But they're going to have to get used to the fact that Luka's not here anymore.
How much of this was his conditioning, or is that maybe more of a?
I mean, it's certainly part of it. I mean, I'm sure there has to be something to do with that. But I'm sure there are other things that we are not aware of that, at least in Nico Harrison's mind, was reason enough to pull the trigger on this trade.
Was there anything he could have said to convince people it was a good trade?
No, I don't think so. From the fans and media standpoint, maybe less from the media, but certainly from the fans' standpoint, I do believe that Nico kind of misread the room. And when you're in your world and you're thinking, I really believe that this is going to make us better. It's hard to unless you actually go out and kind of listen to hear what people feel about Luka, and he has to have known that. I mean, he's been here 3.5 years. The love that people have for him, the love of the joy that Luka brought them, very much the way Dirk brought the joy. That's what people will look. People love, they want to be entertained, and Luka was an entertainer, and Luka was a great player along with being a great entertainer, and so the idea of getting used to something else beside that, as in any other walk of life, change is really hard. Mm-hmm. And everybody is going to have to get used to the fact that the Mavericks are going to play and look different because Luka's not there anymore.
I'm sure a lot of this from the fans is just, why is it always the Lakers that, you can name 10 teams in NBA history. You talked about Kareem, wanting to be traded, and he got traded to the Lakers. Look, I think I'm a Spurs guy, the Pau Gasol trade that everybody was mad about years ago. Whether it's the Lakers or not, it's the Lakers. If he had gotten traded to Washington or Orlando, people would still be mad, but that adds an extra layer of anger on it because they traded him to one of the gold diamond franchises of the league.
Well, I think a lot of people would say, why didn't they talk to Milwaukee about Giannis? Why didn't they talk to Oklahoma City, say, for like a guy like, say, Jalen Williams, or even Shea? If you're going to trade Luka, you want Shea? Luka is the creme de la creme of the league. Okay, at the worst, he's a top 5 player in the league, and when you're not dealing in that stratosphere and the return that you get, and we've seen this in sports forever, usually the team that trades the best player loses the trade. Now, again, the Mavericks probably did a little bit better in getting a player that is still an elite player. Was first team All-NBA defense last year, second team All-NBA. I mean, he was a top 10 player in the league last year. So, and there's probably still quite a bit left in his tank, but he's not Luka. I think that's the only way I can, say it more clearly than that. He's not Luka, and fans really don't want to know that there is maybe another way to skin the cat. It's almost like on the college level. I remember when Nolan Richardson came to Arkansas back in the '80s, and he replaced Eddie Sutton. Eddie played one way, and Nolan played an entirely different way. And Nolan famously said, "Look, there's more than one way to skin the cat. We're going to play 40 minutes of hell." Eddie was had a dominant half-court defensive team, played slow, games in the 50s and 60s. Nolan wanted to play games in the 80s and 90s. And it took about 3 years for Arkansas to fall in love with Nolan Richardson in Arkansas, because they wound up going to the Final Four pretty quick after that. So from the Mavericks standpoint, they hopefully they can figure some things out pretty quickly, and the transition gets them back to where they were a year ago, and maybe allows them to take the extra step. Are they going to get there? I don't know, but obviously that's what they're counting on.
To a beloved player. This is Craig, who's not in New Orleans with us, but a huge Luka fan, Mavericks fan, loved Dirk as everybody did. We had a group text. We have one that's of those of us here, Chuck, in New Orleans, and then there's also one we have that's just constant, with our show and the staff. And I sent out a tweet about something Luka, and he said, "Can we stop?" He's devastated. He's like, "Can we stop sending this in the group chat?" Like, he just didn't want to deal with it anymore. It's so raw.
It's raw, and it's going to take a while for everything to calm down. And when that happens, I don't know. Maybe when they start watching Anthony Davis play, they'll see, wow. I mean, he's a really great player. But it's not the same, and it never will be the same. And, Max Christie should not be dismissed in this. He's going to play. He might even at some point start. He played really well for the Lakers when they put him in the starting lineup right at New Year's. And, he's a good shooter. He can guard. The Mavericks now have a lot of guys in that, 6'5", 6'6" range that are rangy, long arms, can be disruptive out there. So, again, they got another person who can help them, but they no longer have, and really for the first time in the 20 years that I've been with the Mavericks, we don't have a generational player on our team. And I got to say, listen, it's weird for me. It was so weird yesterday. I can't begin to tell you how weird it was. And even doing the work for tomorrow night, even though Luka hasn't been in the lineup since Christmas, there was always that knowledge that he was coming back at some point. And now you're working, with the knowledge that he won't be back anymore. And a lot of the numbers and trends that you had for Luka, now, you just cast them off to the side, because at least for my broadcast, it doesn't hold anymore. But that doesn't make it any less difficult to shove it to the side.
Are you surprised that the LeBron didn't know about it until we all knew about it? Part of this?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that that they were able to keep it under wraps. But I will say, when you go back, really since the beginning of when Don Nelson was brought to the team in the late '90s, and you look at all the trades the Mavericks have made, significant trades the Mavericks have made, they've never leaked. never leaked. We've all been shocked. Now, this is the 10 on the Richter scale to beat the band, right? I mean, there's been nothing like this, and there never will be anything like it. But the only one that really was almost anticipated was when J. Kidd came back from New Jersey in 2008, because he pretty well made it clear to the Nets that he wanted to play with Dirk. So that deal, just kind of grinded its way through the process, and it wound up going down, at the trade deadline. But other than that, you think about, when they traded Kidd back in, even before Don Nelson came in. That was pretty shocking. When they were traded for Rafe LaFrentz, when they traded for Antoine Walker, right before the season started, after they'd already acquired Antoine Jameson right at the draft. When they acquired Caron Butler and Brendan Haywood, in 2010, or 20, I guess, at the trade deadline in 2010. Look to last year. I mean, nobody knew who they were getting. That people thought that they were going to be active and they were going to do something, but no one knew just exactly what was going to go down. And that was the case here, clearly.
February the 25th, they're in L.A. The best thing about this is that the first time they play will be in L.A., not Dallas. They don't play till, April the 9th. That will be – it won't change by then, but my God, could you imagine, Chuck, if all of a sudden they had a game at home against the Lakers in the next 8 to 10 days? Luka, does he even travel? I don't know, but good gosh, that would be unbelievably emotional.
Well, it's my understanding that Luka's going to be back with the Lakers and be playing next week. So he would have been available to play that game, and he will likely be available on February 25th, which, quite frankly, is the most amazing day and the most impactful day in all of Dallas sports.
Yeah.
Because that's the day that Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys. It's the day that SMU got the death penalty. It's the day that the Southwest Conference officially went away and the Big 12 was formed. And now you're going to have Luka Doncic playing against the Mavericks on February 25th.
Oh, my God. I always have a reminder that tells me that that's coming up like the next week or whatever to discuss it. And now that, my goodness, what a history note. Thank you, Coop. Great stuff. Good luck with it. I know you're a pro. You'll go about whoever's there. Kyrie's still there and others. That, my goodness, it's going to be fun to kind of see how it works out.
Look, the thing is, the team, when they are healthy, the team is still, I think, a really good team. But they're just a different team now. And everybody's got to get used to the fact that Luka Doncic is now wearing purple and gold.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy. Thanks, Coop. I know it's a crazy time. Chuck Cooperstein, Philadelphia, voice of the Mavericks, with us on the Luka Doncic trade.